Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Buckner?
Here.
Reverend Campbell?
Here.
Mayor Gilstrap?
Here.
Vice Mayor Jones? Dr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Saunders?
Here.
Mr. Shanks?
Here.
Mr. Vogler?
Here.
Mr. Whittle?
Please stand for the invocation led by Councilman Fred Shanks and remain standing as the Girl Scout troop will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please pray with me. Heavenly Father, thank you for this great nation and the communities within it. Thank you for the beauty that we experience daily in our region and in our city. As our city and region strive to overcome the changing world and the changing economy, guide us through the wilderness and away from temptation. Prepare us to see and to live your word. And through that word, prepare us to work together to make our community the thriving place that it has been the most of its existence. Let us not forget our proud past, our strong work ethic, and our roots deeply ingrained in farming and tobacco and textiles. We ask that you help our community replace those strengths of the past with new jobs and new opportunities. Help our community be prepared for those opportunities in both character and education. And Father, guide and protect those who protect our freedom and safety around the world. We especially ask that you lead and watch over our law enforcement professionals, first responders, and judges, as we as a community work together to make Danville a fun and safe place to live, work, and play. All this we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Councilman Shanks, and thank you, Girl Scouts. And Girl Scout, please just stay right there because I have a proclamation. Whereas March 12, 2017 marks the 105th anniversary of Girl Scouts of the USA, founded by Juliet Gordon Low in 1912 in Savannah, Georgia. And whereas throughout its long and distinguished history, Girl Scouting has inspired millions of girls and women with the highest ideas of character, conduct, and patriotism. And whereas through Girl Scouting, girls gain courage, confidence, and character and make their local communities and the world a better place. And whereas more than 2.7 million current Girl Scout members nationwide will be celebrating 105 years of this American tradition, with nearly 60 million women who are former Girl Scouts and living proof of the impact of this amazing movement. Now, therefore, I, John B. Gilstrap, Mayor of the City of Danville, Virginia, do hereby proclaim March 12 through 18, 2017 as Girl Scout Week and applaud the commitment Girl Scouting has made to American girls. Given under my hand this 7th day of March 2017, John B. Gilstrap, Mayor. Which one of you, or all of you ladies, accepting this proclamation? Come on forward, please. Congratulations and thank you so very much. And yeah. comments?
Good evening. My name is
Excuse me. Can you pull that mic down just a little bit so we can hear you? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lorelei Zagel, and I joined Girl Scouts this fall. One of the reasons I like Girl Scouts is because I get to spend time with my friends Lillian, Abigail, Amber, and many others. Girl Scouts helps me improve my old talents and helps me learn new ones. I have also enjoyed selling Girl Scout cookies with my friends and family. I am glad my sister Charlotte, who is a brownie, introduced me to Girl Scouts. It is an honor to be chosen to give this speech. We would like to thank you with some delicious Girl Scout cookies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alonzo's seat right over there. We'll take one.
Change it.
No, man. Hey, get away. I appreciate it.
I'll trade you.
How about you, Wayne? Jennifer? You feel the same thing, right? Well, thank you, Cookie.
Thank you, Girl Scouts. We are proud of you, and we are proud of what you mean to our community. And council, I'm sure you join me in thanking them for these great cookies. Thank you. And if my wife is lucky, some of them might make it home. Like an update on Health Collaborative from Annie Martini from Danville Regional Foundation.
Good evening, everyone. That was
evening.
a tough act
Good
to
evening.
follow. And unfortunately, I have to talk about the Health Collaborative while you're enjoying your Girl Scout cookies. But no calories in those at all tonight, I promise.
You got cookies for us, or
I have no gifts. This is it.
next?
Yeah.
We'll take cash.
I'm Annie Martini. Thank you all for having me tonight. It's a pleasure to be able to speak to you very briefly about the Health Collaborative. I'm a senior program officer at the Danville Regional Foundation, and I also have the pleasure of helping to convene the Health Collaborative, which is a group of diverse organizations and individuals that have all come together to try to improve health outcomes in the Dan River region, including the city, Pittsylvania County, and Caswell County. There are over 50 organizations that are now part of the Health Collaborative, over 100 members, and through many of our community engagement efforts and strategy development and public meetings, we've heard at least 700, I think we are estimating about 725 people have given their voice to this effort. So I'm very excited to be a part of it. We've recently released a Health for All action plan, which is our kind of long-term, ambitious, probably 10-year plan to improve health outcomes across the region, really looking at how we reduce health disparities in our region. And those focus areas, I'll very briefly, for those of you not familiar with the project, are healthy eating, active living, access to health care, and healthy spaces, which is healthy spaces at work, at church, at schools, after school, and childcare facilities. So very briefly, I'll give you a little bit of what we're working on in each category. Then the main reason I'm here today is we're holding a leadership breakfast on May 23rd, and I'll give you all the save the dates for that. We're excited to be hosting that. So within healthy eating, we're looking to improve the food retail environment, so make sure that there are more healthy and affordable foods available closer to where people live, either through grocery store, growing your own food, or convenience stores. Also looking to build the local food system, so looking more at how we support local farmers and building their capacity, and not only selling direct to consumers, but selling to institutions as well. So connecting farmers to schools, to restaurants, to the hospital, for example, and other institutions in our region. One thing we're really excited about that we are in the middle of developing for this summer is a youth agriculture and entrepreneurship program for low-income high school students, particularly starting in the city, that will be working in existing community gardens and new community gardens and really developing entrepreneurship skills. They'll be learning how to plant and harvest, as well as cook food and sell food as well in this kind of big kind of business approach to agriculture. So we're excited about that development. Within active living, we have two main goals: to increase the proximity, the percentage of households that are within half a mile in an urban area and 2 miles in rural areas of parks and open space. So there's a lot of wonderful work going on in the city regarding parks and open space. Also looking to increase the number of miles of bike lanes, sidewalks, and trails within the region as well, so that people can get from point A to point B without having to get into a car if they want to be active or they don't have access to transportation. Access to health care, there's a very exciting project. We're looking to connect more people to primary care providers, and we just launched this last year a community health worker project, which is a partnership between Gateway Health, PAS, the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research, the Danville Redevelopment and Housing Authority, and there are 10 community health workers that are out in the community. 6 of them are here in Danville working in targeted neighborhoods to work directly with patients to help them reduce their emergency room use, connected to a doctor, and kind of overcome the social and economic barriers they're facing, such as food literacy or health literacy issues, food access issues, transportation, and so on. So we're really also hoping that those folks will become kind of ambassadors in their neighborhoods and will be helping connect a lot of the neighborhood work that we all are doing as well. Within Healthy Spaces, thanks to the Parks and Recreation Department here at the city and a lot of other great partners, they've released a Thrive Challenge, which is new this year, so helping work sites and schools and other organizations, churches as well, have healthier environments, so looking at policies and programs and the built environment there. So they're helping the folks throughout this year, and they'll be recognized at our health summit in the fall. So great work happening there as well. Lastly, I want to invite you all to our annual leadership breakfast, which will be on May 23rd, and I'll pass out these save the dates. And it kind of has a few main goals. The first is to give you a more thorough update on what we're doing.
Thank you.
The second is we're getting ready to release in early June a regional community health needs assessment, what we're calling a health equity report. And we'll have new data that's probably new to a lot of folks here, that we're looking at health indicators, but also social and economic indicators by census tract. So this is going to be represented as a series of maps that shows the differences in these outcomes in specific neighborhoods and census tracts across the region. So it's kind of the first time we'll probably be able to see what different parts of our community look like, so we can really target our efforts to the places that need it most. So we're going to give you all a sneak peek at that information before it's released in June. And lastly, then work together and get your feedback and opinions on what the health-related priorities should be for each of the jurisdictions that we're working in moving forward. And I'll just make a final caveat that we're really looking at policy, systems, and environmental level change, not just programming. So it's things that really require all of us working together to be able to achieve much more long-term goals than kind of short-term programming. And how we incorporate workforce development, economic development, and health improvement all in larger plans that we all can work together on. So we will send formal invitations to the leadership breakfast here shortly with more information to come, but I hope you all will be able to make it, and I really do appreciate your time this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can answer any questions, I guess, to you before I walk away.
Gary, Dr. Miller.
No questions. You're speaking my language. Parks, green spaces, grow your own vegetables. It's sad. Not only the teenagers don't know how to grow vegetables, but adults don't.
Very true.
And so, you know, you can grow. I have a garden out back every year around my house. So people just don't have any idea how to grow things.
That's true, and I think the urban agriculture and community garden movement is really taking off. I've seen a lot of momentum, especially in the last year here in the city, of people wanting to grow their own food more and more. So I think there's good things to come.
Is the health aid or facilitator. A few years ago I was in El Salvador, a third world country, and they had facilitators. So if you needed to get your medicine or you needed a bus ticket to the capital to take your child to the doctor, they would arrange for these things for you, because people just don't know how to get to where the source of what they need is. So I think this facilitator is an outstanding idea.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what the community health workers are doing, is connecting these folks to all those different types of resources and making sure they understand how to navigate the process, which is challenging.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Vogler.
Yeah, Annie, I want to thank you for coming tonight and for your efforts of year-round and what you do, and what you talked about is certainly very important, to have healthy communities, and how that has an impact on so many other things. And we know from statistics that, you know, we have a lot of work to do in that regard, and so it is very important. And as Dr. Miller mentioned, you know, that we as a council, we as a city are certainly trying to find ways to do that, community gardens, and with our dining options and shop, you know, grocery shopping and things, trying to bring in healthier options in that regard. And of course, on the recreation side of it, with the bike share program that's coming, another way to encourage people to get out and be active. So, you know, we look forward to working with you in ways we can partner and share information moving forward. But the work that you're doing is very important. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will say, and I mentioned Parks and Recreation, but the Planning Department and Public Works and Community Development and city staff from across the whole city have been really supportive and healthy, and you have a very dedicated and passionate staff that really care about improving health. So we thank you all, and
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Communications from visitors. Citizens who desire to speak on matters not listed on the agenda will be heard at this time. Citizens who desire to speak on agenda items will be heard when the agenda item is considered. Let me remind our visitors that as an individual, you have 5 minutes to speak. Representing a group, you have 10 minutes. Anyone wish to speak to an item not on the agenda, please state your name and address.
So my name is Stephen Wilson, and let me see.
Mr. Wilson, are you
Yeah.
speaking individually, or are you representing a group?
I'm a resident, 918 Main Street, but I'm speaking as the founder of the Danville Canal Association. And I want to give you, however, I only have a 3-minute summary.
Let me ask, those that are with you, you have others with you? Please stand if you're representing this organization.
These are, I have a number of people here from the next door neighborhood and interested in tourism, but not specifically the canals. So that's fine. I only have.
Thank you.
I only have 3 slides, and so but now I've used 30 seconds already of my. What I want to do is give you an overview.
We'll give you another 30 seconds. That was my time.
Yeah, do you guys have also have that
Let's
on
start
the
him
screen?
over. Start him at 5.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm looking down at the screen. We've got it on.
Okay, so anyway, I've written an article that's coming out in the Historic Society newsletter. I don't want to hand that out, so if you should join the Historic Society and you will get a copy. But I have also I've done some research for several months on the canal, and I wanted to, and I've organized a canal meeting with people from the Virginia Canal Association, the North Carolina, the Dan River Basin Association. There a lot of people are interested in the canal story, and as it turns out, I discovered that there are 2 canals. There are 2 canal stories, and so what I wanted to show you in this picture is if you look on Parcel Viewer, you can see 2 pieces of the actual canal. One by the White Mill, which is the blue area on the left of the screen, and then down by the former Worsham Bridge, there's a little tail behind the power plant. That's where the 4th lock, which is still there actually, dumped the boats in to the river, and there's a 27-foot drop between the Union Street Dam and the Worsham Bridge, 27 feet. And so there were 4 locks along there. And the red part on this map is actually the part that is hidden from view. So if you look, I have a picture of the White Mill Canal you have all seen. You may not see this picture. There's an article from the Register in B in the early 70s. This photograph of the canal in 1972 was actually, it's 40 feet wide and 10 feet deep. That's actually a pretty good size canal. And then it goes underground, and so it goes under the two bridges, under the fountain, under the restroom, under the research building. And this picture of a guy walking through there is actually taken just a month or so ago. It's still there. This is actually the canal that went under the research building, which actually turns out to be mill number 1. Riverside Mills this was the first mill. And so I was wondering, so what is the canal doing under the building? Turns out that after the boats went out of favor when railroads were invented, in the 1860s and 70s, a famous Danville resident gave a speech, a famous speech, evidently. His name was William Sutherland. And he said, we have this canal, we should actually convert this to water power. And so in the 1878, they widened the canal, and there was a big party when they opened the floodgates and had a 10-foot wall of water coming right through the middle of town to power water wheels and mills. And as a matter of fact, at that time, where Spring Street hits Canal Street, that's right at the park we've been talking about for before this meeting. The city in the 1890s bought a 200 horsepower water wheel to run their power grid. The city actually had 10 miles of city lights run by water wheels. And in 1913, the city actually had, Riverside Mills actually had 53 water wheels going in the Danville area. This is a picture of historic Danville to show you that after the boat canals were built. And so the reason that I was interested in the canals initially was because of canal boats. But I think a really important story on the development of Danville is water power. Now the last slide here is actually the canal boats. The canal boats were flat-bottom boats, 40, 50 feet long. The top picture is actually a drawing from the 1800s of it took a 3-person crew, and they could carry 10,000 pounds of tobacco and cotton from Danville downriver to Weldon, North Carolina. And in Weldon, there's a canal museum, and those folks are going to be here in Danville in the next month or so, and I can organize a meeting. Everyone here will be invited, and the public as well, to a discussion of what's going on with canals. But what I discovered interesting is this bottom picture is actually a canal boat that ran tours in the between 2003 2009. It ran tours from Danville to Milton on the river, and you can see people riding on the riverboat. And so, in fact, my idea, which interestingly could fit in with the park plan, is one could run canal boats up river to the Camille Williams Park and so on. So in any case, this is a summary of the canal story, and I appreciate your attention, and I hope we'll be able to have some more discussion about it later this spring, because as you know, this is going to be a 250th anniversary of Pennsylvania County, and Danville really has a...
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Appreciate you bringing us up to date and keeping us informed. Anyone else wish to speak on items not on the agenda? Please state your name and address.
Like where I live? Okay.
Pardon?
Like where I live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'll see y'all later. I'm just kidding. My name is Maygale Dalton, and I live at 852 Green Street here in Danville. This is my 13th and final year as a scout, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about International Women's Day, which is actually tomorrow, March 8th. I find it very fitting that this day falls so close to Girl Scout Week because we are constantly growing the next generation of empowered women. Struggles women face today are wage inequality. Women make 77 cents per dollar, and the number continues to decrease for Black and then Hispanic women. Ambition, which is usually seen as a good thing, but while men are seen as strong and smart, women are seen as bossy. Violence against women in both physical and mental forms. This obviously means a lot to me since my Girl Scout Gold Award is about ending rape culture and stopping victim blaming. Feminism is viewed as a negative, but it only means that all we want is equality. I stand here today as a young, empowered feminist who wants to make the world a better place. And I just wanted to ask you all to please celebrate International Women's Day with me tomorrow. And just on another note, this is my last year coming to talk to you guys for Girl Scout Week. And I just wanted to say, I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry. How much you guys mean to me as a council. And I really enjoyed all the experiences I've had with all of you over the years and how much you taught me. And I remember you came to see me in 4th grade. And that's so crazy that now I'm 18 and I'm graduating high school in less than 3 months. And, you know, I'm starting a new chapter, but you all were very much a part of this one. So thank you so much for being a part of that. Any questions?
Thank you, and you have meant a lot to us through many years, and I've known you for a long time. So, and you have always had the utmost respect for us, and you've always been very involved in the community, and we thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on item not on the agenda?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Jasmine Lipscomb. I just got out the Marine Corps. I did 11 years, and this is my 2nd year being back home. I'm from Danville, Virginia originally, and I left and I just came back. Since I've been back, I have 4 children, and my children are now in public school, like they were in the military on base. And I'm right now studying at Averett. I'm doing psychology, sociology, and criminal justice. While I was in the military, I did 11 years of paralegal with prosecution. But I wanted to, it's in the works, so just to let everyone know, since I came with this Girl Scout, because my daughter's in Girl Scout, we're doing a study at school. We're talking about mindfulness, and there's been research and stuff, I think it's in Kentucky, where they are starting to incorporate it into the schools system, where they're doing, it's called mindfulness classes as far as yoga. It's research to have help the children calm, be more disciplined in the school. It's more of like yoga. It's a lot of research being done on it. I have a meeting with the Board of Education, and then I think across the street, because I'm just now getting affiliated with everything in Danville again, across the street they do projects. So my plan is to get with the Board of Education, present her the articles that I have read through my professor at Averett, and to see if we could do an assessment with a group of children and on how we could probably maybe incorporate mindfulness in the education system in the future. So be on the lookout for that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Councilman Shanks.
I just wanted to say thank you for your service to your nation. Thank you very much, and thank you for caring.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak to an item not on the agenda? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to other items on the agenda. The minutes, consideration of approval of minutes from regular council meeting held on February the 7th, 2017. Your pleasure. Councilman Buckner.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve consideration of approval of minutes from the regular meeting held February 7th, 2017.
Second. Councilman Shanks. Discussion? Call a roll, please.
Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell? Mayor Gilstrap?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Jones? Dr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Shanks?
Aye.
Mr. Vogler?
Aye.
Mr. Whittle?
Aye.
Following the consent agenda, the following budget amendments, items B through D, have been previously discussed by City Council and introduced for first reading, and will be further considered by City Council in public hearing. After the public hearing has been closed, there will be no separate discussion on these items, and they will be enacted by one motion. If discussion is desired by a council member or a citizen, the items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. I open the public hearing on items B, C, and D. Anyone wish to speak? Hearing none, I close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of council? Councilman Larry.
Councilman Larry.
Mr. Mayor Gilstrap. I'd like to make a motion for B, C, and D will be adopted.
Is there a second to the motion? Thank you, Councilman Buckner. Any discussion on these items? Anyone wish to remove an item?
Yes. Yes.
Please, discussion? No. Please call the roll.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mayor Gilstrap?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Jones? Dr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Shanks?
Aye.
Mr. Vogler?
Aye.
Mr. Whittle?
Aye.
Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
Item is appointments. Consideration of appointment to the Danville Community Policy and Management Team. Chairman of that committee is not here. Councilman Buckner.
As a member of the committee, we have decided to appoint Scott J. Spillman as the health representative to the Danville Community Policy and Management Team.
Is there a second?
I got a question.
Second. Councilman Shanks. Discussion.
What do they do?
Sorry?
What do they do? What do they do? What do they do?
Talking about the community policy management team?
Yes, sir.
They make decisions.
I believe Jim Bebo could probably answer that better than any of us.
He's here.
Do you mind answering that, sir?
He gave me a whole package tonight when I came in the door, so I'm working through it. Thank you.
Well, I need to clarify, I'm a board member of the Danville Community Policy Management Team. It is not the same as Danville Visiting Community Services.
Okay.
But like Mr. Whitfield was saying, I can answer as a board member that the Community Policy Management Team manages CSA funds, which is the Comprehensive Services Act, provides services to children who have been identified by the schools or social services or the Community Service Board as having a need, and it's a comprehensive treatment planning process to wrap around the child and provide them services to keep them in the community, keep them in their homes instead of going into foster care or residential placement. I think Dr. Spillman is the new...
You gave me the big package, and you keep bringing them to me.
Okay.
So I can keep up to speed. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Call a roll, please.
Mayor Gilstrap?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Jones? Dr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Shanks?
Aye.
Mr. Vogler?
Aye.
Mr. Whittle?
Aye.
Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Under new business, consideration of a request to vacate an unused street right-of-way on Joplin Street to consolidate with adjoining parcel. I open the public hearing.
introduce myself again. My name is Jim Beba. I'm the Executive Director of Danville, Pennsylvania Community
That mic
Services.
up just a little bit. Thank you.
My name is Jim Beba. I'm the Executive Director of Danville, Pennsylvania Community Services. And this is Dodie Hudson. She's a project manager with Dewberry and Davis. And we're here to answer any questions. The request is to abandon the alleyway between the two pieces of property Danville, Pennsylvania Community Services owns and is preparing to develop for extra office space for our services.
Anyone else wish to speak at the public hearing? Councilman, we'll give you a chance to ask questions right at the end of the public hearing. Anyone else wish to speak on this agenda item on the public hearing? Hearing none, close the public hearing. What is your pleasure? Councilman Vogel.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt an ordinance vacating approximately 0.22 acre of surplus right-of-way on Joplin Street.
Seconded by Dr. Miller. Discussion or questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Jones. Dr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Gilstrap.
Aye. Item B.
Thank you. Thank you.
Consideration of a request to vacate an unused street right-of-way and consolidate with existing parcel near Spring Avenue. Open public hearing. Anyone wish to speak under the new business item B? Hearing none, close the public hearing. What's your pleasure, council? Dr. Miller.
Mayor John Gilstrap. I'd like to propose an ordinance vacating approximately 0.071 acres of surplus right-of-way of Riverside Drive near Spring Avenue.
Second. Councilman Butler. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Dr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Shanks.
Mayor, I have a statement. Alfredo Shanks III do hereby state that I have a conflict of interest regarding the consideration of adopting an ordinance vacating a portion of surplus right-of-way located off Riverside Drive near Spring Avenue containing 0.71 acres. As shown as new business item B, therefore pursuant to the State and Local Government Conflict of Interest Act, Virginia Code Section 2.2-3112, I must abstain from voting on this matter.
Mr.
So
Vogler.
noted.
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mayor Gilstrap.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Jones.
Item C, consideration of adopting an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2017 budget to allow for grant funds from the Virginia Department of Emergency Management. Your pleasure, council. Councilman Shanks.
Yes, Mayor, I move for adoption of an ordinance amending FY 2017 budget appropriation ordinance to provide for a grant from the Virginia Department of Emergency Management in the amount of $60,000 to upgrade, expand, and sustain the equipment of the Danville Regional Hazardous Materials Response Team and appropriating same. First reading.
Is there a second? Councilman Saunders. First reading. Item D, consideration of amending the fiscal year 27 budget appropriation ordinance by increasing the revenues for a National Park Service African American Civil Rights Grant for renovations at 407 Hallbrook Street. Is there a motion? Councilman Campbell.
Mr. Mayor, I move for
Councilman Larry Campbell.
Mayor John Gilstrap. I move for adopting an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2017 budget appropriation ordinance by increasing revenue for a National Park Service African American Civil Rights Grant in the amount of $413,270 to be used to fund the renovation of 407 Harbrook Street for the development of the Williams Community Resource Center. First reading.
Is there a second? Dr. Miller. Any discussion? First reading. Item E, consideration of adopting the resolution and ordinance to award prime lease to the Industrial Development Authority for use in refinancing of the 2013 IDA bonds. Now, council, let me I have been informed by our legal counsel that we need to do item 2 first. We need to adopt the ordinance before we adopt the resolution. Councilman Vogler.
I guess I missed out on getting my full name announced.
Councilman Lee Vogler.
I'm kidding. Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt an ordinance awarding a prime lease to effect the financing of the acquisition, construction, and equipping of various public improvement projects pursuant to a master lease financing arrangement.
There's a second to the motion. Councilman Campbell. Discussion? Councilman Vogel.
Yeah, just real briefly, I want to say, and I think this is the case for every council member down here, but I'm always trying to be very cognizant of the way that money is spent and the way that we utilize the taxpayers' money when we're down here, because, and I think that's the important part, is that it's the people's money that we talk about when we're down here on most of these issues. It's not our money, it's not the city's money, it's not council's money, it's the people's money, and we have been entrusted to do so. And I think this is a good move that we'll be making tonight, and I support this. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Shanks?
Aye.
Mr. Vogler?
Aye.
Mr. Whittle?
Aye.
Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mayor Gilstrap?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Jones? Dr. Miller?
Aye.
Entertain a motion to adopt a resolution pertaining to the same item. Councilman Vogler.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adopt a resolution approving a plan to refinance certain economic development projects through the issuance of a lease revenue bond by the Industrial Development Authority of the City of Danville, Virginia.
Is there a second? Councilman Buckner. Any discussion? Councilman Whittle.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the rate was 4.75 is what I read.
No, the rate was 3.3 something.
What I read on the resolution was 4.75, and I thought we were going to take either option 1 at 3.38 or take option 2 at.
Clarification, Michael.
Yes. The resolution was written in case we were not successful in negotiating with BB&T, the first choice respondent to our request for proposals. We do, in fact, expect to be able to negotiate with BB&T and accept the rate that they offered, the 3.3, whatever it was. But that was included in the resolution just in case we had to move to the next lowest bidder.
I'm not clear.
Okay. We solicited bids from banks. BB&T provided us the best offer, and that is our intention, is to go with BB&T. Until we get to the end, until we close on the refinancing, which will happen at the end of this month, we can't be 100% for certain that it'll work out. It should. It usually does. But in case it does not, the resolution has a not to exceed interest rate, which would allow us to move to the next lowest bank that offered us a refinancing rate. So it's just to protect us to not have to go back through all these processes if we do need to move to the next lowest bank, but we do not anticipate needing to do so. We should be able to resolve this with BB&T as intended.
But the interest rates you negotiated is 3.3.
Yes.
We are on 3.3 then?
Yes.
And it's fixed for 10?
Yes.
Okay, well, it reads
not to exceed.
Well, that's still not correct. It's a fixed rate for 10 years.
In case we were unable to close the refinancing with BB&T and needed to move to another bank, to the next lowest bidder,
yes.
I believe that was their, it's probably a little higher than their interest rate was quoted, but it just gives us the flexibility to move on to the next bank if we're not successful with BB&T. But I do have no reason to believe that we will not be able to close the deal with BB&T at the 3.3 for 10 years fixed.
Any other discussion on the motion?
And I did have a question. In the past, did we work and try to work with our local banks? And BB&T is also a local bank. And from what got back to me, that it was moved through those channels, and I was glad to see it.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Call roll, please.
Mr. Shanks?
Aye.
Mr. Vogel?
Aye.
Mr. Whittle?
Aye.
Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mayor Gilstrap?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Jones? Dr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Item F, consideration of approving a resolution to designate the Danville, Pennsylvania County Chamber of Commerce as a designated marketing organization for tourism in Danville, Virginia. Councilman Saunders.
Resolution to designate Danville Chamber of Commerce as the designated marketing organization for tourism in Danville, Virginia.
Councilman Shanks. Discussion on the motion. Councilman Saunders.
Mr. Mayor, I think the Chamber will have some staff they'd like to introduce tonight to say hello to us regarding to this particular project.
That's right.
See, Ms. Moran is here. Thank you for agreeing to do this for our region, and any comments will all be helpful. And you have with you a staff person in some capacity who will have to meet us, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So thank you. I'm Lori Moran, President of the Danville, Pennsylvania County Chamber of Commerce. With me is Amy Bowles, who is our tourism coordinator. And I also have Brenda Bowman, who chairs our Regional Tourism Committee, which represents Danville and Pennsylvania County. What this resolution is doing tonight is basically a technicality. The state needs an organization that when they need to contact, push down, or push out marketing information, that they come to. And since the Chamber is now serving in that role in partnership with the city and with the County Board of Supervisors, that just allows us to be that conduit of information, whether there's information to share with the state or state information to share with us. And so this is a technicality, but it's one required by the local governing body, and you also have the right at any point in time, if you ever wanted to choose that, you also have the right to choose that, to change that if you ever wanted to.
Councilman Campbell.
Lord, I'd like to say, first of all, thank you for the work that you do at the Chamber and for your rating, five-star rating. My question to you in reference to the Tourist Committee, they do marketing also. Both of them dealing with the region, isn't it? What is the difference? Or is it basically the same?
The Chamber is doing the tourism and the marketing as far as with the tourism assets and entities. And so we have a committee that has representation. We've got 12 people that serve on that committee that's working on that. Our meetings are open to anyone who wants to participate. And we're really looking at how to market the region. I've requested, and I think I will be on the agenda at the April board meeting. I think that's April the 4th. So I'm going to come and give you a presentation of the work we've done so far, as well as to share with you the 3-year strategic plan that the committee has developed as we look at going forward. But it will be our job to really market and promote the assets that are here and try to encourage people to come here and to stay longer and to spend more.
Is the Tourist Committee more local and you're more regional?
So our tourism committee, there's only one that I'm aware of, Larry, that is actually working in partnership with the City of Danville, and regional as in it is the City of Danville and Pennsylvania County Board of Supervisors in the Chamber. We're the 3 entities that came together last year to put together the committee and start this work.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Of which I'm a proud representative for the City Council on, I might add.
Thank you, Councilman.
So thank you. And we will be here at the first meeting in April with a report on what we've done today. Thank you.
Good evening. Paul Leapy from the Old West End. Yesterday afternoon, there was an ad hoc meeting of a number of our local museums, tourist attractions, nonprofit associations, and citizens concerned with tourism in Danville. That gathering asked me to inform you that they are anxious to collaborate with the Chamber, learn about and contribute to the Chamber's plans to promote tourism in Danville, to boost our tourism capabilities, and to assist the Chamber in any way possible, and importantly, to measure the success of this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional discussion?
I think you
on
really answered my question.
Pardon?
We straight.
Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Vogler?
Aye.
Mr. Whittle?
Aye.
Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mayor Gilstrap?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Jones? Dr. Miller? Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Shannon?
Aye.
Communications. City Manager?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Last week, we had our second gang task force meeting. It was a very good meeting. During the meeting, Chief Broadfoot gave an update on the current status of gang activity throughout the city. In addition, we had a presentation that was organized by Amanda Oakes from Danville, Pennsylvania Community Services regarding the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Comprehensive Gang Model. I had to read that. And it was decided after that presentation that that would be a good best practice for the city of Danville to follow. So we're pursuing the option of implementing that same gang model to deal with gang activity in our city. We are working with a nearby city to find out how their process went. They've used this in the past. They've been doing it for about 4 years, and we're going to follow that model, and we're going to ask them to come speak to us about how their process worked, what they learned, what they would do better, and then after that we'll begin a process to implement it here in Danville. And everyone was on board in the gang task force. I thought we had a lot of good discussion. Again, I wanted to say that I'm really pleased with the activity of the organizations that are involved in the gang task force. Everybody is all hands on deck to solve this issue, and I'm very proud of the work of the people of the city of Danville. Thank you.
Deputy City Manager?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, and thank you. Last week, we also had our very first Youth Services Task Force meeting, and we met at our fire station, downtown fire station in the River District, and that meeting was facilitated by two folks that I have been recently introduced to, Ms. Susan Worley, who is the Executive Director of Volunteers for Youth in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and Mr. Nick Allen, who is the Director of Community Impact Initiatives for the Triad United Way. It was a good inaugural meeting. We had 20 organizations here in the community represented, and we learned more about how to better organize ourselves around the community impact model to get our staff as well as our financial resources focused on youth-related issues. We are in the process of planning our second meeting, and hopefully that will occur, Mr. Mayor, members of council, by the end of this month.
Great. Thank you, Deputy City Manager. City Attorney? City Clerk? Roll call, please.
Mr. Whittle?
Sure. Thank the local Girl Scouts for getting here, and the mayor got my cookies though. We're going to have to switch that out. The local chamber.
You better be looking for someone else to switch with.
Always do a wonderful job, and also with the Health Collaborative Group with the Danville Regional Foundation. We're glad to see everybody interested. And I hope that my mother can hear me. Again, she said I don't speak loud enough, so good night, Mama. Thank you.
Mr. Buckner?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the Girl Scout Troop 970 for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight, and also for the wonderful cookies, which none of you guys are welcome to. I'd like to remind everybody not to forget the Kickin' Chicken Wing Ding, brought to us by URW and the River District Association. That's March 25th from 5 until 10 p.m. at the community market. It's guaranteed to be a good time. I know they postponed it, and this is the date for it. So make sure you get out to support that. It ought to be a really good time. That's all tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Reverend Campbell?
Yes, I'd like to be redundant once again. I'd like to thank the staff and your service in many years. Really appreciate that. And you're talking about women empowerment on tomorrow. And we thank God for your empowerment and service you have and being a role example for younger women. May God bless you for your future developments. Tonight, we saw a very exciting presentation about the Riverfront Park, and we're just glad and excited the possibilities of what's going to happen to Danville. I don't know what to say. I'm so excited, Mr. Mayor. I'm very excited. I know there's great possibility of us going to the next level for a major game changer within our community. Thank you, sir.
And I hope we all can keep our enthusiasm through the budgeting process.
All things work together for the good.
Mayor Gilstrap?
I too would like to thank the Girl Scouts in Dalton. We're going to miss you. I look forward to this every year, and you're such a delight. Thank you. And thank the Girl Scouts for the cookies. Appreciate it. I'd like to also remind council, I had breakfast yesterday morning with kindergarten and first graders at Forest Hills. And you all have been invited. This is National Breakfast Week at our schools. And I just want you to know they had a fifth grader in there who is responsible for keeping that dining room orderly. And that fifth grader came over to me and said, Mr. Mayor, you aren't supposed to talk that loudly in the dining hall. I said, thank you for reminding me, and I will lower my voice. But those kids were great, and let me encourage you to go by and have breakfast with one of our, with a whole group of kids at Forest Hills Schools. And Forest Hills, thank you for inviting us. Also like to remind you that the GW Eagles spring sports have started. Matter of fact, the baseball team started today in Gretna with I don't know if it was a game or scrimmage. I do know I missed it, and I do know my grandson plays on that team. So get a chance, support the Eagles in spring sports, not only fall and basketball, but we got a lot of sports we need to support our Eagles on. And that's all. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Jones? Dr. Miller?
Yeah, county and city sports basketball teams. Many of them advanced to the state tournament, advanced into the state tournament. I don't think anybody's going to win the whole thing, but they had great showings. Chatham, GW, Tunstall all did well. We're going to miss one of our favorite Girl Scouts. We just love having you come here. And, I had two daughters that went through Girl Scouts, and they went through Brownies. They went into Girl Scouts and matured into young women, and I'm very proud of them. A lot of what they learned, a lot of their skills and talents came from Girl Scouts. So just because you're graduating doesn't mean you don't come back. That's right. So you come back to Danville, and come back every year, and come back and visit us, and come back and stay. And again, like Reverend Campbell, I'm excited about what we saw tonight. The park, we've been looking forward to this for years. I think it's going to be a game changer downtown. A great park for people to visit, play in, maybe some whitewater facilities that will draw people from all over the area to Danville. It's going to be a major game changer, I think. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Mr. Saunders?
Thank you. To our Marine, again, thank you for your 11 years of service. When you came up, I really thought you were a GW High School student. Yes, and I graduated in 2003 from GW. Yes, ma'am, but I had no idea you were serving the Marine for 11 years. Yes. And I say that respectfully. You don't look like you served for 11 years. But thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you so much. And to our Girl Scout young lady, I do remember 4th grade. I won't forget that. Thank you for remembering. You will do well, extremely well. And we are very, very proud of you. And I also want to say that in Danville, we are making a lot of progress in spite of. People are focused, council is focused, citizens are, investors are, and I am glad for the progress that we're making. And a special thanks to all of our city employees for what you do every single day. And a special thanks to our law enforcement personnel for what you do every single day as well. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'd just like to say it's going to be different. Ever since I've been on council, you've been here once a year, at least once a year. I assume I'll still see you at the community market on Saturdays. But wish you good luck with your next endeavors. Also, I just wanted to say thank you to the Danville, Pittsylvania County Chamber of Commerce for putting together a leadership role in tourism for our area. I think that's been a neglected subject for, we all know, for quite some time, and looking forward to your kind and thorough leadership to bring our community back into the tourism process. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
This model in the past, and we're going to talk to them about how it went and what they learned and what they could do better.
Thank you. I know that there's certainly, as you mentioned, one that's dealt with this in High Point, North Carolina, and I think the more we hear from places that have dealt with similar issues to us, the better. And again, thank you for the work that's being done there. Earlier today, I did something I'm really excited about it, and I wanted to share it with folks because I encourage others to do so if they haven't already. But I went next door to our Danville Public Library, and I got my new Danville Public Library card. And it's easy to do. I was in and out in less than 3 minutes. Encourage folks to go visit our library, of course, the one downtown and the one we have on Westover Drive. It's free to do so, and not just for Danville citizens, but of course if you live in the county surrounding our city nearby, you can also go and do so. Or you can visit readdanvilleva.org, but our Danville Public Library, obviously a very important part of what we do here in our city, and just want to encourage folks to go visit either of the branches that we have here in Danville. And lastly, along the lines of education and learning, I'm a big proponent of education, always trying to learn things, and so it is in that spirit that when I get home tonight, I'm going to thoroughly enjoy eating these Girl Scout cookies, and because these particular cookies that I happen to get tonight are called Thanks a Lot, and you can learn how to say thanks in 5 different languages on these cookies, and so I got to make sure to try all of them just to make sure that I can learn 5 new languages tonight. Very important to do so, obviously, for the sake of education. And I want to also, as everyone else has mentioned, just thank the Girl Scouts as a whole, and specifically Maygale and also Lauren Jones, who's here tonight. We've seen you guys quite a bit over the years, and even prior to my time on council, I can remember going to the mall and doing the event with you all, and it's just been a great pleasure to watch you guys grow up and continue to be fantastic young leaders for our city and for our region, and look forward to what you do next in life. And I know you all will be very successful in whatever it is that you choose to do. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, everyone, for watching on TV. Meeting adjourned.